That's like our roll call.
Exactly. They say I did something. The day that we cover I did something bad, we're going to be so insufferable.
No one's going to listen to that episode.
Except for me. I'll just listen to it on repeat. It'll become our most streamed episode because I'll just have it on the background at all times.
Abby and Kat were born in 1997 and became best friends when they were 6. Grew up together and started a band and bonded over music ever since. 20 years later, they are all grown up and spend their free time analyzing lyrics. Now here they are talking all about their Lord and Savior, Dr. Taylor Allison Swift. Taylor, if you're listening, we love you.
Welcome to Swiftlore Podcast, where we dive in the lyrics and lore of our Lord and Savior, Dr. Taylor Allison Swift.
Absolutely, that's why we are here.
I'm Kat.
I'm Abby.
Spear is not in the crate.
Crazy.
We're letting her roam free. Hopefully she doesn't piss on the floor.
Hopefully. But then if she does, then we know that's the cause.
Well, I mean, I feel like she was so good when we were at the lake.
She was, but she was also on the couch with us.
That's true. There's not space on this couch for her.
Right. So we'll see. We are recording this episode the day after we recorded last week's episode. So if something has happened in the 2 weeks, then sorry.
Sorry about it. Yeah, I'm going to the Cayman Islands. I think I mentioned that in last week's / yesterday's episode. Mm-hmm. When you're hearing this, I've already made all of my offshore bank account jokes.
Great.
I've gotten those out of my system.
We got to get another guest on the pod.
We do. I was literally just thinking about that.
Yeah.
We should get Kaylee Dance is who I feel like would be fun to have on.
Yeah.
She's cool.
She is cool. So I don't know. If you guys have any ideas for guests,
let us know. Also, dream guest is Eli Rallo.
Oh, yeah.
Eli, please come on the podcast. I cannot keep commenting on your TikToks as Swiftlore Pod and asking you to come on the podcast.
We also want to get like the dancer, like the background dancers, backup dancers.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Any Eras Tour personnel.
Truly, any crew, anything. I mean, obviously, we just love hearing people talk about Taylor Swift. So
yeah.
But I definitely want to get a guest on soon. Haven't sipped my water yet. It was so cute. I came in here today and Kat already had a water glass waiting for me because I always end up laughing so hard that there's like a frog in my throat. And so midway, she always has to get me a beverage.
But like, because yesterday that happened and then today I was making sure things were set up and then I was like, I'm just going to refill the water glass from yesterday.
I'm good like that. I need to be hydrated.
I also need to be hydrated. I'm so crusty dusty not hydrated right now.
Wow. One of my New Year's resolutions is drink more water and eat more veggies. Those are two big ones. So.
Those are classics.
Classic for
a reason.
And I feel like those are good. And it's also like, I'm not measuring.
That reminds me, I need to give you that water bottle that I told you I would give you.
Perfect.
I have it. Remind me when we're done recording.
Okay. So this week we are doing the Don't Text Your Ex episode. Don't do it.
So I am covering I Almost Do.
And I'm covering This Love, which is Kat's favorite song. It was her number one on the Taylor Swift ranking.
Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't lower down. I can't even remember what it was, but whatever it was, it wasn't lower down.
Kat is a This Love hater.
Listen, once 1989 TV came out, I liked it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But overall, like I went to open this morning, I thought that I had gray hair, but I had just gotten foundation in my hair. I opened my camera roll instead of my sheets.
Google Sheets. I only got the first 100 of my Taylor song sorter screenshotted, and I'm pretty sure it's not in the top hundo, but I don't have any ill will against this song.
I do.
It's just Kat doesn't like it.
Something about it just fucking annoys me.
That's so fair.
Because she's like, we got back together. It's a love story. And I'm like, you broke up again. Well, is it still a love story?
What I want to...
It was 223rd out of 241.
Well, I'm going to argue in my analyzation of this song that it's not a happy song at all. It's a very sad song.
Yeah, but like people are like, oh my god, this love came back to me. I'm like, this love sucks.
You Are in Love is right there.
You Are in Love is right there.
You Are in Love is the superior of the two.
Obviously.
For sure. And You Are in Love is so romantic.
There's so many better songs on 1989. And This Love, I think, is, in my opinion, it's the worst song on 1989.
Interesting.
I mean, what could be worse than This Love? I mean, also, like, no offense. It's kind of boring.
I think it's pretty.
It's pretty boring.
Roasted. I think it's pretty. For me, there's the two songs that I always like. There's I Wish You Would, How You Get the Girl. Like there's a bunch that are a Wonderland.
You don't like Wonderland?
It's fine.
We found Wonderland. You and I got lost in it.
I feel like I just got canceled by Swifties. I don't know.
You're saying This Love is better than Wonderland? You're getting canceled by me. I'm canceling you. Canceled.
Okay, you know what? I'll have to listen to them both again and get back to you. Because I just listened to This Love while researching this, and I'm like, this song's pretty. Like, it's pretty.
It's fine. I feel like I should go first because my song is objectively sadder.
Okay, now that we've talked about my song.
I know. I'm like, so I need to dose out my This Love.
Simmer down.
So I got to put a cap on it.
They say we're too young now to amount to anything else. That was a 5 Sauce reference.
I almost do. I almost said This Love. But I didn't. But every time I don't, I almost do. Hey, tied it back. Hey. So I Almost Do is track 7 on Red and Red Taylor's version. This was solo written by just Taylor. And on the Stolen version, it was produced by Taylor and Nathan Chapman. And on Taylor's version, it was Taylor and Christopher Rowe that produced it.
Same with my song.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The hidden message for the song is wrote instead of calling.
Interesting.
Ouch. Or wrote this instead of calling.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I just can't read. So this is going to be an interesting episode.
Wrote this instead of calling.
Which
love that.
makes sense because the whole song is like, I wish I could call you, but I shouldn't.
I honestly love that
but
for
I almost
her.
did. But
Last week we talked about healthy ways to channel your heartbreak. Writing a song about it, do it.
Writing a song, writing a letter, sending it.
Not sending it. Yep.
Critics overall liked this song, partially because it was one of the more country songs on Red, and people thought it sounded more like her past albums. Red, as we know, is very chaotic because it seems like she wanted to make a pop record and then her label wanted her to make a country record. So then nobody was happy.
Right.
Although Red's great. I like Red Taylor's version more in that regard because I feel like the songs were produced in a way that she wanted more.
Red TV, I didn't listen to the normal Red just all the way through because I wasn't a Swiftie back then.
Fair enough.
So I thought Red TV was great.
It's great. And also something I actually did not know until I was, looking through Genius, is that the song is probably inspired in part by the song Even If I Don't by Rachel Yamagata, which I didn't listen to a lot of it, but during the Speak Now World Tour, Taylor would always write lyrics down one of her arms. And in Missouri, she wrote, I hope you know that even if I don't, I wanted to, from this song. So similar vibes. And also she would have been writing Red during the Speak Now World Tour, which is still crazy to think about, like looking at like little baby Speak Now Taylor. And then you're like, this is who wrote All Too Well.
That's wild.
War crime. This song has only been performed live 4 times ever.
Really?
Twice as surprise songs on the Red Tour, on March 13th in Omaha, Nebraska, and April 20th in Tampa, Florida. And those were both in 2013. Wow. And then it's been an Eras Tour surprise song twice. The first time, which was the first time in like literally a decade that it was performed live, June 9th, 2023 on piano in Detroit, Michigan. And then it was also a surprise song mashed up with The Moment I Knew on piano in Milan, Italy on July 13th.
Wow.
2024.
Well,
this mashed up with The Moment I Knew makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Because it's like the reason why you don't is because of that moment you knew.
Right.
It really works.
It does. Also, this is a super delayed joke. I meant to say it earlier and then I just didn't.
Because every time you joke, you almost do.
Damn it, Kat. No. Sorry. It's
I got attacked by Red Taylor's version again.
Every time she didn't perform this song, she almost did, was going to be the joke. And then you had to just,
make the same joke.
It's fine.
Darn you, joke.
Dinkelberg.
In terms of personal connections to the song, when Red came out, I still thought I was attracted to men, and I thought I had a crush on this guy that I had gone to summer camp with, that I completely convinced myself that I was in love with him. And then he was dating another girl who went to our school. And I remember I have this distinct memory of sitting in like my dad's childhood bedroom at my grandparents' house, listening to the song and like staring at his contact on my phone.
That's so
so dramatic.
Oh, that's so age 15.
It's so It's so like 14 or 15-year-old cat.
Yeah.
It's so 2012 of me.
But also so 2012. Like I did that too. That's just the beauty of being that age.
It was
the beauty and horror.
What a time to be
that
alive. But yeah, I have that distinct, that's my personal connection, is like I just distinctly remember listening to this and being like, I can't text him. But if he wanted to reach out, he would. But I almost do. And every time I don't, I almost do.
Wow.
And overall, the song is just about wanting to text your ex and talking yourself out of it, as you should.
There you go.
You got to just think about all the reasons why you can't text them.
Wrote this instead of calling, man.
Wrote this instead of calling.
Listen to this instead of calling.
Listen, yeah. I actually don't know if this would help. Maybe listen to this, love, and be like, oh no, if I have to relate to this.
That's your way of doing it.
Me being like, oh, I don't want to have to relate to this, love. Anything that will make me like this love more is out.
Out.
So now we'll just dive right into the lyrics. I bet this time of night you're still up. Right from the start, she's like showing this level of familiarity of like knowing, oh, it's like 11 p.m. He's probably still awake. Like, I bet you're still up. I bet money on it is kind of the like implication. And also the I bet you think about me of it all. But like I bet you think about me is obviously a little bit angrier, more sarcastic of a song. And then this is the sad version of like she knows him well enough to assume what he's thinking and probably be right. But in I bet you think about me, she's saying it like, yeah, when your life sucks, I bet you think about how much you're missing me. And then here she's just like, I bet you're also awake and sad and thinking about me right now.
Yeah.
I bet you're tired from a long, hard week. She's not part of his life, but she's probably keeping tabs on him in some way, as we all kind of do sometimes with exes, of like checking in and being like, oh, he posted on his Instagram story that he worked hard this week. I bet he's really tired. And I bet that he's saying he had a long, hard week.
It's her classic, just like making stories up.
Making shit up. She loves to make shit up.
She is a graduate of MSU.
What?
Make shit up.
MSU.
I had a college professor tell me that once. I never forgot it. I think about that all
iconic.
The time.
I bet you're sitting in your chair by the window looking out at the city. We know Taylor loves to torture herself by thinking about what her exes are up to. And she knows exactly what he does to decompress after a long, hard week. So she's like, I bet that you're awake. I bet you had a hard week because I had a hard week and I miss you. So you must miss me.
Right.
And so I bet that you're just like being dramatic, sitting in a chair by the window, looking out at the city. Like, what a pretentious douchebag. Oh my God. How do you miss this guy? Like, imagine you have a hard week and you're just like, it's been such a hard week. I guess I'll just sit by the window of my high rise and look over the city and think about how hard my life is.
You hate this guy.
Of course I hate this guy.
She doesn't even know if he's actually doing this.
But like, the fact that she can assume that he's doing this means that he's done it before. Imagine you go over to your boyfriend's place and you walk in and he's just like, it's been a long, hard week. And he's looking out the window over the city and he's like, this is what I like to do when I've had a long, hard week. And you don't break up with him.
What kind of chair is it?
I imagine it's one of those like mid-century modern, like, you know, the black chairs that are like leather, but they kind of have like it's like wood and the leather, and then it's got like a matching little ottoman that's like
that is pretentious.
That's what I imagine. And then he's got like a glass of whiskey, I assume.
I don't think that's breakup worthy. Beer. I wouldn't break up with him.
It just would give me the ick.
Okay. You're also a lesbian.
I'm also a lesbian. If I walked on a girl doing that, I'd be like, oh, she's so deep.
I think we've just solved it. Kat, you're gay. You're gay.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I was laughing too hard. I couldn't even sing Picture to Burn properly.
You're gay. And I bet sometimes you wonder about me. She knows him well enough to think that he is thinking about her. Or, you know, maybe she's just hopeful. We'll get there at the end. And I just want to tell you, it takes everything in me not to call you. The feeling of wanting someone to know that you're not calling them is so real. Like, she's like, I'm not calling you, but I want you to know that I'm not calling you on purpose. You're still fully on my mind and thoughts of you are inescapable, but just know that I'm thinking about you all the time, but I'm making the choice not to call you.
Yep.
Like, wanting them to know that you're making the choice to move on.
Yeah.
But then you can't tell them because then you're not moving on. And I wish I could run to you. Like, she knows that there are things keeping them apart. There's reasons why they broke up, and we know them from the rest of the album. He sucks. He's pretentious. He's a douchebag. And like we know that from the rest of the album, and she's just trying to like will herself into believing that like there's good reasons why they're not together, and she can't just run to him because he's shown that he's not reliable and he's not trustworthy and he sucks.
Right.
But she's just daydreaming about like wishing that she could run to him and that things would just be okay and work out the way that she wants them to.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you know that every time I don't, I almost do. And she's forcing herself to move on, but she still loves him and she wants to be with him. And if things were different, this might not be what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then she repeats. Then she repeats, I almost do. And I love the repetition here because she's saying it to herself almost again, like stressing that she almost does it because she can't go back to him. And she needs to like have respect for herself and be like, I cannot go back. Like, but every time I don't, I almost do. But she doesn't call him. Spear is slowly moving closer.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
That's so funny. She just like keeps going a few steps forward and then plopping down again as
And
if
she
we
went on her
won't
bone.
notice.
You know, she made a big move.
That one, she moved way up.
She's just a baby.
She is.
Verse 2. I bet you think I either moved on or hate you. Taylor, again, loves to assume what her exes or even current partners are feeling. And she knows him well enough to know that her not picking up when he calls means that it's either he thinks that she's over him and is moving on, or he thinks she completely hates him because, you know, it's kind of justifiable from his experience that she would feel that way because he sucks and she should move on and hate him.
Right.
But also I think that it's interesting that she said or. It's like, it's not moved on and hate you. It's I moved on or I hate you. Because I think it relates to that idea we talk about a lot of like love and hate both come from that place of passion. And it's like either she's not answering because she's just still so pissed at him and just won't answer, or she's not answering because she's over him and like he's not even a thought in her mind.
Right.
Because each time you reach out, there's no reply. We love a strong queen setting her boundary and not going back.
Yeah, we do.
We love that for her.
I hope she left him on red.
I hope so too. I bet it never ever occurred to you that I can't say hello to you and risk another goodbye. Whew. Whew. That lyric hurts.
It does, yeah.
Every time I listen to the song, this is the lyric that I'm just like, damn it, Taylor. How
Good
could
you.
you write this so good? Like, she knows that he's not only going to not understand why she's not picking up, but also that he probably doesn't have the self-awareness required to figure out that the reason she's not answering is because he's an unreliable person who keeps hurting her over and over. And no matter what he says, even if he calls her and says, I want to be with you, things are going to be different this time, she knows because she's gone through this whole song and dance already. Like, she knows that even if he says all of that, it's not going to happen.
And she's fallen for it a couple of times.
Exactly.
And now she's like, I just can't risk it because it hurts me every single time.
Another goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so many times she can say goodbye without it just breaking her.
Right.
And also, Genius pointed out the never ever occurred of it all. And of course, We're Never Ever Getting Back Together is one of the most famous songs off of Red. She can't go back because to him, it doesn't occur that like she might not be answering because he's already broken up with her a bunch of times. And even if she is the one who ends things, it's still another goodbye. It still hurts because clearly she still has feelings for him and she still loves him.
Right.
Even though she knows that she shouldn't, which, as we know, the shoulds, they just should all over you.
So true.
Then the chorus is the same. And then the bridge. There are a lot of Better Man parallels in the bridge, which I'll kind of touch on, but it's just interesting that there's also like parallels to Babe. So it's just interesting how much she parallels other songs on Red that did or didn't make the original album. And I also wonder like if her having these parallels to songs that ended up going to other people or just like not being released, if it's because they were similar, kind of like how Blank Space and Slut, like she had to make a choice of like which one made the album, and she was right.
She was so right.
Love Slut, but
you heard it here first.
Anyways, we made quite a mess, babe. I love the we in this line. Like, she knows that she's also responsible for the problems in their relationship and like all the mess and all the issues. It's not just his fault. It's together they're a mess. Individually they might be fine, but when they're together they make a mess.
Right.
And also I think it's interesting that she says babe, because in the song Babe says, you really screwed this, babe. And that song is like his fault. It's like, since you admitted it, I can't stop wondering, like, that song is very much like, you are the problem. You created all these issues. But this is like, we made a mess. I think that this is when she's starting to get some distance from the relationship and realize we weren't working out. Like, things went wrong. I have to like own up to my part of making this not work. But he's still calling and trying to get her back the same way he has in the past. And she's changed, but he doesn't know that because he hasn't changed. It's probably better off this way. In the whole song, like that, I bet it's probably like there's still that uncertainty to everything that she's reinforcing here, because she's assuming that they're better off the way that they are. But there's still that little piece of her that hopes that, like, maybe if we did get back together, though, it might work out, because what if he actually was different this time? But, like, probably we're better off this way. And, again, with it's probably better off this way. In Better Man, she says, I'm probably better off on my own, which, true, probably. And I confess, babe, I love that she's, like, confessing it here, because, again, like, wrote this instead of calling. She can't confess to him because his calling and pursuing her would probably be even more relentless if she said that she had this hope, because he would definitely exploit it to get her back.
Also, the use of confess reminds me of Mastermind. With This Is the First Time I Felt the Need to Confess.
Yeah, because she like had to confess in that song and tell the truth, because I feel like that relationship, she had a more open line of communication. And here, like, we know communication, like, breakdown, timing. But I think Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, like, we know that's...
I think the bridge of Mastermind, and of course we've already covered Mastermind, I think that's more directed towards the listener than the partner.
That's true.
Because there she's confessing to us.
Okay, the next line. In my dreams, you're touching my face and asking me if I want to try again with you. This image is just so gentle and loving. Like, she's dreaming about him, literally just paying attention to her and touching her face. Like, obviously it's romantic, but it's not like sexual or like overt or anything. It's just this very gentle, like, touching her face and like saying that he wants to try again, but like, because she wants him back, but more importantly, she wants him to ask for her back, which is why she can't pick up the phone or call him back, because she knows that if she talks to him and he says that he wants her, she'll probably go back to him. So she has to have the restraint of not answering or not calling him, because she knows that if she calls him and he says, I want you back, she's going to crumble right away. But she's reached that level of self-awareness of like, I know that I cannot go back to you, but if you asked, I would.
Right.
And also, like, in my dreams, relating it to Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, in dreams I meet you in warm conversation. Same thing of just like, she just wants like the simple beauty of like their love before all the things went wrong. And also, again, another Better Man parallel. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I can feel you again. So again, I feel like she definitely had a dream where this exact thing happened. And so she wrote about it in a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
Which is very real. And then the last line of the bridge. So in my dreams, you're touching my face and asking me if I want to try again with you. And I almost do. Even in her dreams, she knows she can't get back with him. Like, yes, this is her fantasy. And this perfect fantasy is this moment for her, not just of him asking for her back. And it's also her saying no, but letting him see how much she wants to get back with him, but she can't. And like having this dream where she can say like, no, but I wish that I could, because then she can show him how much she's hurting, which I think is part of like what she wants from this song is like, I want him to know that I can't get back with him because he keeps hurting me, but like I miss him and I love him and I want him to know that I'm hurting. Because sometimes I feel like when you break up, you're like, I just want them to know how much they like hurt me and how much they destroyed me. And that's part of what she wants out of this like fantasy dream, is telling him like, no, but if things were different, yes.
You know what's pretty cool about being Taylor Swift is that she gets to write the song instead of calling, and then he probably has listened to it.
He probably has. And then the chorus happens again. It's the same. And the outro is verse 1 again, but with one heartbreaking lyric change. And the last line of the first verse is, and I bet sometimes you wonder about me. The final line of the song is, I hope sometimes you wonder about me.
Ow! I forgot about that.
Because she doesn't actually know. That's the one The rest of it, she can bet on. She's like, I bet that you had, like, I bet at this time of night you're still up. I bet that it's been a long, hard week. I bet you're in your pretentious chair, staring out the city, having your pretentious thoughts with your douchebag friends.
I bet a lesbian just broke up with you on site.
I bet a lesbian just kicked you in the balls and walked away, no explanation. And you know what? You felt like you deserved it, so you just left. And that was part of your long, hard week, was getting kicked in the balls by a lesbian. And then, but like she doesn't bet anymore that he's thinking about her because he's probably stopped calling. So the pain of like knowing that he's probably moving on or hates her.
Yeah.
And like she has that, because like what's worse, him calling or him not calling?
Yeah.
It's getting stuck in that place of like, I want him to call because I want him to want me back, but I don't want him back. But I want him to want me because I want him to suffer like I've been suffering when I've wanted him back.
Just between us, did the love affair maim you too?
Exactly. So she's just agonizing over how he's feeling, and she's just hoping that he's also agonizing over her. My discussion question: what is something that you've done instead of texting or calling an ex?
I've written songs.
Fair. I posted a TikTok.
Nice.
To what? The Winner Takes It All by ABBA, the first line of I don't want to talk.
Yes.
Because I had an ex text me and was just like, can we talk? And I just posted the TikTok, not knowing that a friend of theirs was following me on TikTok still.
Oh, man.
And so then the follow-up text of like, stop posting TikToks about which was so funny.
Another thing that I like to do is to just blatantly tell my friend. I have like a dedicated friend where I go, I'm about to do this bad thing. And then she'll go, don't. And then I'll listen to her because it's Liv.
I know. I was going to say it's not me because I'd be like, actually, instead you should bomb him.
Well, the thing about Liv is that like I tell her everything.
That's true.
Like I tell her everything. So if I did the thing that she said, don't do it. And if I did it, I would tell her afterwards and I'd feel weird about it.
Liv is like the epitome of we listen and we don't judge.
Exactly. Because like she'll know and she won't judge me if I do the bad thing. But if I tell her I'm thinking about doing it and she says don't, I'll be like, you're right.
Because you know, if Liv says don't do it, it's really... I love Liv. That sounded much shadier than I meant for it to sound. She's just like, Liv is just good at advice.
She's so good at advice. So we love that. We love that for Liv. I hope you guys all have a Liv.
It's funny because I feel like you're my Liv.
Yeah?
Like, if I like want to do something stupid, I'm like, I'm going to tell Abby. Instead of doing a stupid thing. It's you or Brienne.
That's true.
When I was dating somebody and then we weren't official, whatever. And then we broke up and I was like, I did text Brienne. I was like, Brienne, I think I'm going to text her. And she was just like, what do you want to get out of that? And I was just like, stop reading me for filth.
No, that is my favorite question to ask people.
Like, what are you getting out of
what?
that?
Yeah.
It's
Why
like,
are you doing, what urge do you have? What result do you want? And like, is the result going to actually make you feel better?
Yeah,
honestly,
usually the answer is no.
Great questions to ask yourself before doing a questionable thing. Mm-hmm. I must say.
We love a little therapy moment. And that is I Almost Do.
Wow. All right. Kat's favorite song. This Love.
I'm not even giving it the arms.
No arms for this?
No arms.
Man, I even gave arms for Stay, 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 I think.
I don't
remember.
The thing with This Love is that I don't like it.
That's the thing.
Every time I listen to it, I'm like, man, I wish I wasn't listening to the song.
Wow, that's wild because I listened to it today and I'm like, it's
fine. It's just a
cute.
skit.
It's pretty. I like her little, I think that, man, I really can't sing on the pod. I promise I can sing. I just think every time I sing on the pod, it sounds bad. All right. This Love is the 11th song in 1989 and 1989 TV. Produced by Taylor and Nathan Chapman originally, and then Christopher Rowe on Taylor's version.
And this is why Nathan Chapman was not asked back.
This was the reason.
This is his last song that he produced for her.
Here's a fun fact that I thought you would enjoy. Oh. Originally, it was recorded in a studio in Nashville called Pain in the Art Studio.
It's just pain in my art. This podcast being my art.
This song, Taylor's version, was released way before the full re-release. It was released in May of 2022 for the Summer I Turned Pretty trailer. The Summer I Turned Pretty is just Taylor's discography at this point.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Why did they have Delicate Taylor's version in season 2 of The Summer I Turned Pretty and they haven't released it, but they released fucking This Love.
Yeah, that's strange to me because
that to me feels like a personal attack.
The thing is, I really need Delicate Taylor's version. I need it. Listen, we're trying to have some relationships this year. We need Delicate. I need it.
How am I supposed to date somebody without listening to Delicate on repeat? And I don't want to stream the stolen version.
Exactly.
Taylor, this is a plea. Please do it for me.
If not the full Rep TV, like, because that song, it's, you know, my favorite Rep song.
I need to be in my Rep era. I'm trying to be in my Rep era, you know?
And it's like no pressure, but also it's already recorded.
A little pressure. It's already there.
Already recorded.
Maybe just drop. You know what would make me feel a lot better about this year is if I had Delicate Taylor's version. I'm just twiddling my thumbs.
We promise that we aren't actively trying to pressure a person that we don't know. She gives us a lot, and she deserves
passively pressuring. She could just quietly drop it. She doesn't even
have
to do any
shows
promo.
up. It just shows up on Spotify.
If it just showed up on Spotify one day, you know what? I would tell people.
Did you see the thing though about how on Shazam?
Oh yeah, she registered.
Not Shazam.
Yeah, it was Shazam.
Yeah?
Yeah, Look What You Made Me Do, Taylor's version.
Yeah, so that's new. If by the time this episode came out, for whatever reason, Rep TV drops, if it drops while you're in the Cayman Islands.
Oh my God. I'll go to the Cayman Islands every single time I want an album to come out.
And if it hasn't dropped and all of this talk is irrelevant, sorry. So Taylor has said that this song started as a poem and then she heard a melody in her head and she's like, might as well make it a song. I really want to torture someone named Kat. So then she recorded it. So after 1989 dropped, she told Yahoo that she considers this to be the first song in which she really experimented with different vocal recording styles. Also,
not all experiments are good.
I think I wrote somewhere that this was the first song she wrote for 1989. She wrote it like during Red Tour, maybe? Where did I write that down? I know I wrote it down somewhere.
I'm glad she got better.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm just, at this point, I don't even hate the song as much as I'm ragging on it for it. I just think it's funny to rag on it.
That is really funny. Okay, I did write. It's allegedly the first song she wrote for 1989 right after Red dropped. So, most improved player, Taylor Swift. Kidding. I have nothing against the song, except I have one thing against the song, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So, the liner notes hidden message was timing is a funny thing.
Breakdowns, timing.
I referenced How I Met Your Father, actually, which I watched because Hilary Duff is in it.
And she's always relevant.
Always relevant. And there's a quote at the end. It's a pretty big moment where a character says, if I've learned anything at all about love, it's that timing is everything. And sometimes timing's a bitch. And
fair enough.
That this song made me think of that. This song is about going back to your ex, which, rarely works, as evidenced by this song. This song really...
This song, especially in the context of the album, is just like, ooh.
Like, she keeps going back, man. Like, oh my goodness. We get it. He's an ocean. Just leave the beach. What are you doing?
Don't go to the beach.
Let's go get away.
Yeah, just cut the wave.
Oh, I always think it's let's go get away. I've always taken it as that. It is. Okay. I have always my entire life said, let's go to the beach. Let's go get away. As in, like, let's get away to a beach.
You know what? That makes more sense. You should talk to Nicki Minaj. What if you called Nicki Minaj up?
I love that that's the second time we've referenced that Vine. Well, it's been 2 days for us, 2 weeks for you. Oh, goodness. All right. Taylor said in an interview that this song is about an experience I've had where if you truly care about someone and you know they're not fully ready to be in a relationship, you'll let them go. And it sucks to be the one who has to let someone go and cut someone loose when you don't want to, but I think you have to be selfless in relationships when you know that it's not the right time. And if you make that decision and that person is supposed to be in your life, they'll come back.
Fair enough.
I guess. Performances. This was on the main set list of the 1989 World Tour. It was a surprise song on the Rep Tour in Atlanta, Georgia on August 10th, 2018. It was the second surprise song in Philadelphia on the Eras Tour, May 13th, 2023, right before us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it paired with?
That was just a surprise song, no mashup.
No, but like what was do you know what the guitar song was?
Nope.
Because I know that in Philadelphia she did Forever and Always, and I'm just imagining if that had been, if we had been at that show and I'd been like, Forever and Always, and then it's just hyped. Like This Love.
Oh man, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been really funny.
That's my new canon regardless of what happened. It was also performed as a surprise song on the Eras Tour March 4th, 2024 in Singapore, mashed up with Call It What You Want.
Interesting.
It was mashed up with Hours at the second Dublin concert on June 29th and
oh no,
The Prophecy in Indianapolis on November 2nd.
If I had been at that show, I would have had so many feelings.
So many.
That might have made me like This Love.
Maybe. I've never listened to that mashup. It's got to be out there somewhere.
I feel like there's a lot of mashups that I might have like watched them live, but I kind of don't. I haven't watched a lot of the Eras Tour mashups and like surprise songs. I did see a YouTube video earlier that was 2.5 hours long. That was all of the surprise songs.
Oh, bless those people who make those videos, honestly. If you make those videos, you're a star. It's like Tess, also a star.
Oh, that's who we need on the pod. We need Tess on the pod.
We would love Tess on the pod.
Tess on the pod.
Let's petition.
You've heard of a cephalopod? Now get Tess on the pod. I don't know. I just have thoughts.
Have I heard of cephalopod?
You've never heard of a cephalopod?
It's science.
It's like the little guys and they're in the ocean.
Okay.
Wait, I'm going to Google it. They're real.
Imagine Tess gets back to us and she says, I can't, but I know a cephalopod that's willing.
Oh, look at Tess. If you come on the pod, then we don't have to get a cephalopod on the pod.
True. Although, honestly, a cephalopod would kind of slay.
It would probably mess up our equipment. Get it all wet.
Fair enough. We could do a zoom.
If it's cephalopod,
cephalopod?
If you work in an aquarium, can your cephalopod zoom in for our Taylor Swift podcast?
For the bit. That's ridiculous.
I am aware.
So we've mentioned Jason Lipschitz a lot.
As
we've also mentioned Rob Sheffield from the Rolling Stone a lot. Mm-hmm. Now, Rob Sheffield has some takes. This one's particularly hot. So he has a top 3 from 1989. Can you guess his top 3?
This Love, Wonderland, and How You Get the Girl. Was I right?
No, you got one right.
Is it This Love?
This Love is his top song from 1989.
I trust nothing he says ever again.
And then How You Get the Girl.
I did say that.
No, you said Wonderland and...
How You Get the Girl.
Did you? I blacked out. Well, his last one is valid. It's Clean.
Okay.
But can you imagine This Love, How You Get the Girl, and Clean? I feel like, I'm sorry, but I feel like objectively...
I'm so glad I'm not a man, because if that's how I saw the world, the joy... You're telling me that Blank Space isn't up there? You're telling me Style isn't up there?
There's so many good ones on 1989.
I mean, like,
what about
Blank Space?
I Know Places.
I know places.
Oh, man, he doesn't know any places.
He does. Bro says, I know a place, and it's like fucking McDonald's.
I know a place, and it's first, second, and third place, and they're wrong.
It's I know a place, and it's like his shitty, not shitty, it's his high-rise apartment looking over the city with his mid-century modern chair. Spear, don't do it.
We have painted a picture of Robert Sheffield. I actually don't. Rob Sheffield. Sorry, I didn't mean to full legal government name him.
Robert Sheffield.
I just think that's funny that those were his top 3 because they're very unexpected. Okay.
You could say wrong.
So we'll finally get into the lyrics. She starts off with clear blue water, high tide came and brought you in. The whole thing's an ocean metaphor, which makes sense because in 1989, it's very like seagulls, water.
Yeah.
Moment. All right.
Moment, if you will.
She's setting the scene like usual. I think it's pretty how we get like this clear blue water, you know, like just a very serene thing. And then she's saying that like nature brought you to me, just sort of washed up on my shore and are here and it's beautiful and great. And I could go on and on and on and on, and I will.
Just like me, me when
real.
I've had one glass of wine. I'm like, and
real.
You know what? Another thing.
I'm so sorry. She has said one line, and she's like, and you know what? I could talk forever, and I'm about to, so strap in. That line is so funny. I love her for that.
She's so real.
Oh, man. Skies grew darker. So this could show either like the passage of time, now we're at night. It could also show like an incoming storm. I thought it's also interesting how in Blank Space, which is earlier on the album, she starts with cherry lips, crystal skies, and then goes to screaming, crying, perfect storm. Here, it's clear blue water, skies grew darker.
I also think one thing about like if there's a big storm like a tsunami or something, the water pulls away from the shore before it hits.
Yeah.
So it's like the skies grew darker, like a storm is coming, and because of that, like the water came out before crashing in. Like so he leaves again.
Yeah. Current swept you out again and you were just gone and gone, gone and gone. It was like a force of nature, just like the coming and going. And that's the thing about the ocean is that the waves do crash and come out and then they leave and then they come back and they leave. And she's just planted right there in the sand.
She's right where you left me.
Right? Pre-chorus. In silent screams, in wildest dreams, I never dreamed of this. So another So I referenced clean a couple times in my notes, and I forgot to mention that like for rain came falling down, very similar to this impending storm on the beach. And then also in clean, she says something about silent screams. I'm screaming, no one heard a thing, something like that. In Wildest Dreams, that's a title from another track in 1989. So she's saying that she could never have expected this to happen, like, or at least for her to feel this way about it. Also, in Silent Screams and Wildest Dreams, I'm pretty sure the poem I wrote for you on your fridge is something similar to that on accident.
I think there is something. I was reading that before and laughing.
When I babysat Spear, when dog sat, she is a baby, it's fine.
She's a baby.
When I dog sat Spear a couple weeks ago, I put a poem on Kat's fridge using the lettering.
And I kept seeing it and then forgetting to text her about it. And then like yesterday, she was like, did you see the poem on your fridge? And I was like, shit, yes.
I really felt like I ate with it too. I sat
eat.
sat on the floor of your kitchen for like an hour.
Wow.
That's how I spent like an hour of my evening.
That's really brave.
So then we get to the chorus. Here's my beef, right? 14-time Grammy winner Taylor Swift. This love is good. This love is bad.
You're hot, then you're cold.
What is that?
You're yes, then you're no.
What is that?
You're in, then you're out.
Like,
you're up, then you're down.
That lyric is so uninspired to me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she could have said... now Taylor Swift would never write a lyric like that.
That's true.
In my opinion. Like, she describes love a million ways. Literally, in You Are in Love, she has a lyric about how, like, I've spent my entire life trying to figure out how to say what love is. And here she's like, it's good. It's bad. All right. And then the next line doesn't even rhyme. This love is alive back from the dead.
Whoa.
It's not a rhyme.
Dead and bad.
This love is good. This love is bad. Anyway.
Zombie love.
For this love is alive back from the dead, I wrote, she does it all the time. Because, I don't know, we talk about, like, rising from the dead a lot in her songs.
Mm-hmm.
These hands had to let it go free, and this love came back to me. I don't like the chorus. The chorus is my least favorite part of the song.
What is this, fucking Lassie? Go on, get.
Or a lasso. Really anything that starts with lass. So she let go, but it came back to her. So continuing with the ocean metaphor, and the roles are kind of reversed, but it made me think of like a catch and release sort of situation. But every time you catch and release a fish, I'm pretty sure it still hurts the fish.
I mean, it depends on what kind of bait you use. Also, I mean, it can't really be fun to be like not able to breathe for a couple minutes.
It's just sad for the fish. I'm not a fisherman.
I wonder
person.
if it like makes the fish like question their mortality.
I wonder that too.
Because imagine like the reverse of like you're walking by the beach and then like a person grabs you, like holds you underwater for a minute, like takes a picture and then lets you go.
And
like,
then puts the picture on their Tinder.
And then they're using that picture to attract mates.
You'd be like, what is going on here?
It'd be weird.
What am I made for?
Exactly. That would make me question my mortality.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I'd be like, I could have died and
but
I didn't.
Also, I think fish
made
have
it out alive, but I think I lost it.
Very low attention. Like, their memory is not good, I think.
Just like me.
They're the opposite of elephants. So anyway, that's what it made me think of. If I had the wrong fishing knowledge, I apologize. I've never done it. So there you go. There's a little post-chorus where she just says, oh, a lot. Verse 2. So the original lyrics for this verse, I think probably from the poem, were twisting, turning instead of tossing and turning. Tried to keep warm with someone new instead of struggled through the night with someone new. Lantern burning stayed the same. Flickered through the night for only you instead of flickered in my mind for only you. So just a little, like some tweaking happened.
Yeah, some crafting.
Yes. So now I'll break down the lyrics of the song as they are. Tossing, turning, we've got some more sleeping nights. The opposite of that. Sleepless nights. I also think it's interesting how tossing and turning could also be ways to describe waves in the water. Struggled through the night with someone new. So she tried to move on. It reminds me of Is It Over Now with Was It Over When He Unbuttoned My Blouse? Like she's trying to forget this person by being with someone new. There's that crass phrase that the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. Is that the phrase?
Someone else.
Someone else. There you go. So it's just not helping. Also, that advice, I don't know if it works.
I don't think it does for most people.
Yeah.
Like it might work for some people, but for the most part,
as a general rule, not a good general rule.
No, it's a bad general rule.
Baby, I could go on and on and on. This time she doesn't say I will. So take with that as you will.
Finally, the song closer to the end.
Song's done. Lantern burning, flickered in my mind only for you. So she's described love as a gentle flame before, like in I Know Places. I think that the use of the word flicker is very important because the light is like not as bright as it used to be. It's just flickering at this point, but it's still there. You are still gone, gone, gone. Do you remember Philip Phillips from American Idol?
Oh my God,
song?
yes.
Gone, gone, gone. He had his moment in the sun. He had
was it Home too?
He definitely had a couple that were just like that popped off at one point.
And then he just faded.
Oh yeah. What's Philip Phillips up to? I used to call him because I was a math nerd in high school. I would try to figure out like the mathematical way to write Philip Phillips. I used to do Philip in parentheses 1 + S, and then you have to do Philip. Anyway. If anyone else likes math, then you'll also talk to me about that one day.
Couldn't be me.
So we get back to the pre-chorus. This time she says, in losing grip on sinking ships, you showed up just in time. So she was saved before her boat crashed. It kind of makes me think that she like tried being with someone new and she's like, this isn't working. So then she got on a boat and went into the water herself. So I just have this image of her like trying to navigate the waters and then being in over her head. But then he shows up. He's like, hey, I got you. The first line was also slightly changed on the Taylor's version of this song. So on the 2014 version, she sang been losing grip on sinking ships. And in this version, it's in losing grip on sinking ships. Very subtle difference, but it's there. She doesn't change the words very often in her Taylor's version songs.
Yeah.
So it's a very deliberate choice. Sinking ships are also mentioned in I Know Places and Gold Rush. We get to the chorus. It's pretty much the same, except she adds a little bit. So she says, this love left a permanent mark. She's talked about scars and marks from her past relationships. Usually it's negative. So marked me like a bloodstain in Cardigan. With every guitar string scar on my hand. 20 stitches in the hospital room from Out of the Woods, if we wanted to talk about like actual literal scars.
Yeah.
There's also the golden tattoo from Dress, but that's more of a positive one. Mm-hmm. And this love is glowing in the dark. In You're in Love, she says you can see it with the lights out. She loves talking about love being light, daylight. Mm-hmm. Just, you know, that's what she likes. Then we get to the bridge. I actually really enjoy this bridge a lot. So she says, your kiss, my cheek. I love how the scene plays out detail by detail, and it's not telling the story. It's just letting you be in the moment with her. Mm. So instead of saying, you kissed my cheek, she says, your kiss, my cheek, and then I watched you leave. Your smile, my ghost, I fell to my knees. Lots of parallels to other songs, like How You Get the Girl, Haunted, Red, The Last Time. And then...
I was just going to say, I know like the pictures and frames of kisses on cheeks always like makes me think, anytime I listen to this song, I'm like, man, I wish I was listening to How You Get the Girl instead. But like that, this moment obviously like made such an impact on her, because she's like, if you literally just had a picture of this moment, then you could win me back with it.
Took a Polaroid of us. Also, your smile, my ghost, just hits. It makes me think, because it's not even like my smile, your ghost. Like, he's not even the ghost in the situation. She is, because when he smiles at her and leaves, she feels like she left with him, and now she's a ghost of herself.
Ouch.
It's also giving like Haunting of Hill House almost, because I think Ghost, I think Haunting of Hill House at this point.
True.
When you're young, you just run. So this is, I think, my favorite note on the song. I think it's sad because she's talking she says, when you're young, you just run. She's talking to him. She's not talking about herself, because in plenty of her songs, like in Dear John, she says, I regret not running when everyone told me to. Like, she doesn't run away from things very often in her songs. She talks about other people, especially in this era, running from something real. And then in Cardigan, she says, when you're young, they assume you know nothing. But in that song, Betty's saying like, but I didn't know nothing. Like, she disagrees with that.
Yeah.
So she's dismissing.
Like saying that you know nothing is like the scapegoat. Sorry,
You're distracted by Spear. I get it. So I think in a way, this line, when she says, when you're young, you just run, she's making this general blanket statement to excuse his actions. Like, I know that this is why you're doing what you're doing, even if that's not the truth for her. Because she wouldn't run.
Yeah.
She stayed there.
All he had to do was stay.
Right. But you come back to what you need. It's sad.
It is sad.
Because he's basically just like, well, I need you now, so I'm going to come back. Like, he only comes back when he needs her for something.
That's like, there's a Girl in Red song featuring Sabrina Carpenter that's like, need something with need, like, oh, funny you like come around now that you saying you need me now.
Yeah. I actually just listened to that song.
It's about
very recently. I love how when Sabrina comes in, or the girl in red singer is just like, wouldn't it be cool if Sabrina had a verse on this?
And then Sabrina's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna sing now. I love her. She's so sassy.
So it's just sad because, like, yes, the wave returns, but only when it needs something from her, and she could just leave, and she's not, and he's using her.
Yeah. And she's seeing it as this romantic thing of like,
right, that's the thing.
Because I think when you're young, you think that love is needing someone.
Yeah.
When there's a lot more to it than just needing to be with someone and needing to not be alone.
And maybe that's just our perspective on this song because, like, you know, you come back to what you need. So in a way, like, he comes back because he realizes that he does need her, that he does. I feel like it's kind of an unhealthy pattern.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But that's my discussion question is, do you find this song romantic? Because I don't. I find it very sad.
Same. I think, to me, I'm someone who doesn't really, like, if I break up with someone and, like, I've decided, like, the relationship's done and I'm not holding on hope, then, like, there's no chance of us getting back together. Because, like, for me, I will do everything possible while we're still together to fix things before walking away. Because it's so immature to me to, like, leave and then come back and leave and come back because, you know, you're causing these problems that, like,
right.
if you can't talk it through, then things aren't going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, to me, this isn't romantic because it's like, oh, you just come back when you need me. But it's like, but what happens when you don't need me again, or you think you don't need me, or what?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many other variables that just, for me, makes this non-romantic.
She was like, what, 21 when 1989?
24.
24? Oh, I was making her too young.
This is her last non-frontal lobe developed album.
Yeah, I feel like there's a stark difference for me for how I felt about this song prior. I actually don't think I knew this song before 1989 TV came out, but I think there's definitely a difference in how it's perceived. But I'm curious to know what you guys think about it. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So thank you so much for listening to us. Again, we all love you so much. We all, the two of us.
And Spear also loves you.
Oh, yes. If you want to look at clips or DM us or do all the fun stuff, you can follow us at Swiftlore Pod on Instagram.
And for now, you can follow us at Swiftlore Pod on TikTok.
This episode comes out after TikTok is supposed to shut down.
Does it?
Yeah.
No, I think this is our last one before TikTok shuts down.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens
We'll
there.
see. Maybe the Supreme Court will change its mind.
We'll
but
see.
If it doesn't, we'll keep posting until we can't anymore.
Yeah.
This will be our last episode before the TikTok ban goes into place.
But it might be announced that the TikTok ban isn't happening by the time this episode drops. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. If you want to join us on Patreon, I did make for all paid members the Gingerbread House episode or mini-sode available. We've also got Swiftlore After Dark. Last week we didn't have any Swiftlore After Dark clips, which is wild for us. Yeah. But this week we certainly will. Most weeks we do. And so that's awesome. And we've also got episode notes, and you can talk to the Swifty group chat on there. And then our live streams every month. We've got so much cool stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's that. And also now Kat's doing this thing where we're going to have patrons vote on our final episode of the month, which is going to be the next one, right?
Is it really? I think there might be 2.
Okay.
So let me look. It'll be 2 more this month.
Okay. So we still got time.
We got time.
But so there's some cool stuff out there if you ever want to join. The links are all in the show notes. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank our Swiftest tier patrons, Bethany M, September, Ashley, and Liam. Oh my gosh, you guys rock. For real. We're not going to do hint songs this week because we don't know what we're going to do 3 weeks from now. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. So
I don't even know what day it is.
Truly.
So.
All right.
Put that where you want.
So now we're going to crispy high five it.
Crispy high five. Bye.
Bye. I almost wore the same pants. And then I was like, no, they can't know that I wore the same pants 2 days in a row. I changed my pants for the illusion that I don't wear pants 2 days in a row.
Sometimes I wear pants. Sometimes I don't.
Ain't that just the
life.
truth?
And that's life, kids.